Well, not everybody loves the Targa rally. The noisy and sometimes dangerous celebration of speed can get on some people's nerves when it blows through town. But our next story might change your mind about the annual race, at least a little bit. This year, Targa is donating more than $100,000 to help people with autism across the province. To find out more, I'm joined now by Kimberly Ann McDonald with the Autism Society. Good morning. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good, thanks. So how did Targa end up donating so much money to the Autism Society?
We partnered with Targa starting last year, and we're going to be partnering with them again for the next few years, actually. We do everything from door admissions for the car shows, we raffle tickets, and we also have Julie and Ray Hallerhan, which are both parents of an individual on the spectrum who have cars that race in Targa. So it was a combined effort.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the money then. That's quite a bit of money that Targa gave back. So what's it going to be used for?
What we're doing, we're going to put in Targa technical centers across several areas in the province. We're going to do them in Clarenville, Corner Brook, Goose Bay, Grand Falls, Windsor, and in St. John's. And these centers will be equipped with everything from desks, laptops, iPads, iPods, different programs, and several different forms of augmentative and alternative communication devices for individuals on the spectrum.
So when you talk about an iPad or an iPod, what can that do to help somebody with autism?
It can do anything from help with their social skills to communication, organization, self-help. There's quite a few apps out there now specifically designed for individuals on the spectrum. So it's going to be quite a help. And as everything else is moving forward with technology, autism's no different.
Really? So there are actually applications specifically for individuals with autism?
Yep. Currently on the market, there are over 200 apps on the Apple program, not to mention others on Android and Windows platforms as well, specifically for autism.
Well, and what are some of the things that those applications can do to help?
Well, as an example, there's one called Prolo to Go, and it's basically an alternative communication. So some of our individuals have absolutely no speech whatsoever. So they need to rely completely on a device or pictures or some sort of information to speak. So Prolo to Go offers them a way to do that. As an example, I have a student who, up until he used his iPod, only had a vocabulary of about 3 or 4 words. Now he can use this app to go to the canteen at recess, press some buttons. The iPad talks for him and orders his recess for him.
Oh,
so
wow.
He can independently go and, ask for his recess.
That's amazing.
So it's very much amazing, and it helps a lot with independence.
So what age groups would we be looking at here? Would that be anybody from a small child to adulthood?
Yep, it could help anyone, any functioning level, any age. It would depend on the application that we choose to use with them and what their needs are. So for communication, we always advocate, we start early, but that's not to say we haven't used them with adults as well. And then there's apps out there to help with socialization. So it might be reminders or social stories, which are basically short scripts as to how to behave in a certain situation.
Wow.
So an adult can go to a grocery store and flip through pictures on his iPod or iPad, and it may help him remember what groceries to get, how to behave in the grocery store, how to pay for it, that sort of thing.
So these centers are going to teach people how to use these kinds of applications and tools so that they can then use them on their own?
Yes, we'll have most of the technology stuff on hand at the offices. Our staff, including myself, are being trained in each of these, and then we'll be able to sit down with parents or individuals and train them how to use it, and we'll also be able to lend out some of these devices to see if they're worth it for the parents to invest. I mean, some of the devices are quite expensive, and some are not so much.
So where are the offices going to be set up? Are they going to be in new locations or in places where there already are helps for people with autism?
They'll be in our current satellite offices are in Clarenville, Corner Brook, and Grand Falls, Windsor. So the technology centers will be there. But we're also hoping to reach out to Goose Bay, Trinity Conception areas, and these places by getting individuals in those areas trained in using these devices. So if a parent in a remote area buys their own iPad, there's still someone in that area potentially able to train them and help them use it.
Oh, neat. Okay. So when are you expecting to have them open and ready to go?
We're hoping to have everything up and running in the early new year.
Wonderful. And, of course, get the word out, and I'm sure there'll be lots of people coming to help themselves by using the new equipment.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Right. Well, that's a great little story and a nice story about Targa for a change.
It is.
So, Kimberly Ann, thank you so much for talking with us today and telling us about what's happening.
Thank you for having me.
All right, bye-bye now.
Bye.
That is Kimberly Ann McDonald. She's with the Autism Society of Newfoundland and Labrador.